So before we begin, I would like to make a formal apology.
Oh yeah? To who?
To Billy Crystal.
Oh boy. Here we go.
So I hadn't really seen him in a lot and hadn't realized I had heard him in Monsters, Inc. And I had unjustly maligned his good name.
So you judged a book by its cover?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I had really only seen, I think, Monsters, Inc. and City Slickers.
And you decided you hated a man by seeing him in 2 movies.
Yeah. I didn't say hate, I said dislike.
I'm pretty sure you used the word hate, but that's fine. Why do you think you hated him?
I think it's his voice. It has a weird nasally quality, which I'm not particularly fond of.
Oh, your voice is like an
No,
angel.
I'm not saying that I have a good voice. I'm just saying that when I hear his voice, I think that's what slightly irritates me.
I love how the hand gestures, you're just like, you look so tense, like you're just ready to like...
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyways, so what movie are we doing?
We're doing When Harry Met Sally.
So, I'm Shay.
I'm Tyler, and this is Cinematically Correct.
Alright, so When Harry Met Sally, which you had never seen.
Never seen.
Craziest thing ever in the world, but what did you think overall?
It was very good. I actually quite enjoyed it. I know you had said when we were watching this that if I didn't like it, then we were breaking up.
Because nobody doesn't like When Harry Met Sally.
This is held over my head like a guillotine.
Wait, so do you like the movie or do you want to stay in a relationship? I'm just curious where this lands.
Bit of both, honestly.
Ah, great. Okay.
I will go 60-40.
All right. Well, so brief synopsis of the movie, I guess. So this is basically a story of Harry and Sally are both moving to New York. Sally is friends with Harry's girlfriend, so she agrees to drive Harry to New York to, I guess, start careers is what it seems like. I can't really tell exactly how everything panned out. Like, did the girlfriend ask Sally, or was there some ad, or I don't know how. It seemed weird.
Can we just say, incredible trust on Harry's girlfriend letting him get in the car with Meg Ryan.
Well, I mean, he was moving to New York, so...
Asking for problems.
Okay. I know that you think she is super attractive, and apparently men can't keep it in their pants when they see a super attractive girl. I get that. But he was moving to New York, so I'm pretty sure the girlfriend already knew that the relationship was already over, so...
Didn't seem like that by their goodbye. I love you, I love you, I love you, blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth.
Okay. Those type of relationships are never real relationships. You know that. If you see somebody like that in a restaurant, all lovey-dovey...
It doesn't seem like they're ending the relationship at that point, though. Like, they were still somewhat involved. So you're Meg Ryan honking the horn, then?
It's disturbing. Nobody needs to see that. Do you need to see that kind of blatant, disturbing PDA?
It's just 2 people kissing. It's not like they're...
Kissing? They were, eating each other's faces.
It's not like they were having sex in Central Park.
Okay, to start, this is the 90s, so, whoa, killer. Second of all, it doesn't matter. Nobody wants to see that. You have a ride waiting for you. Take the tongue out of the mouth and get going.
No, I agree with you that that is not really all that appropriate, but at the same time, it's not something that offends me. It's not like I'm driven crazy by the sight of it.
Okay, but Billy Crystal's voice offends you. I see where your priorities are.
I don't particularly care for it, yes.
I don't particularly care for watching that. Anyways.
So, they go to New York.
Right, so she wants to be a journalist, and he seems to want to be in politics or something?
He's a lawyer that works for a lobbyist. He's essentially a political lobbyist, I guess.
So, yes, politics. Anyway, so they have it, I think it was an 18-hour drive, they said? Was it 18 hours, or was it
That's
8?
what they said,
Okay,
18-hour drive, when it's only 12 and a half.
Where were they from originally?
Chicago.
Okay. You Googled this to find out how far it was? Because, why would you know that?
It was on the IMDb.
Got you. Anyway, so they said 18-hour drive, so they got to know each other, had weird conversations, sex was involved, all of these type of conversations, but...
Billy Crystal was shattering her illusions of having male friends.
I'm not. No, I'm not taking the bait. I am recentering my thoughts. I am moving on. Anyway, so they realize, like, by the time they get to New York, that they are too different on a lot of fundamental levels, and they cannot be friends. So they decide that they're not going to speak anymore. And
right, and then they run into each other 5 years later.
Right, and he doesn't even remember her. Well, he plays that he doesn't.
He definitely does.
Well, of course he does.
He recognized her and then used knowing the guy as an excuse.
Well, of course. But to her, he doesn't remember.
Right.
And then they kind of start being friends, but then not really. And again, another 5 years pass, I believe.
Yes, and he sees her in a bookstore, and they get to talking again. Princess Leia is the consummate wingman and slides out of the picture immediately.
It's so weird to me that she does not look like what I remember Princess Leia looking like. Like, I don't... Like, I know it's Carrie Fisher because I've seen Carrie Fisher, like, before she died, and, like, I saw...
Well, she doesn't have the Princess Leia buns in this movie, yes.
No, but it's just, like, I just didn't see...
She doesn't have a gold paint bikini, like, metal bikini on either.
The things that you really cling on to, it's really... It makes me feel warm inside.
You just... She looks like Carrie Fisher. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, she looks like the Carrie Fisher that I know from now. Like, not what I remembered from back then. So, it could just be...
Well, this movie does take place, or is filmed quite a while after Star Wars.
You think? Oh my god, thank you so much. Anyway, so they meet in a bookstore, and they, at this point, decide that they're going to become friends, and they basically become, like, best friends. Like...
Biffles.
Yeah. BFFs. IDK and BFF Joe.
Yes.
Like, all about that. And I loved that. I loved everything about it. I thought it was adorable. They're opposites, so they complement each other, and they were just great. Awesome.
Okay. Yes, they do have a good back and forth rapport.
It's wonderful. Like, have you ever had a friend like that?
No, not really. I mean...
I feel so sad for you. But, anyways, that type of friendship is the best type of friendship. It's amazing. Having somebody that gets you like that. But, so the whole movie is kind of like hinging on, will they or won't they? Will they get together? Won't they get together?
It's a 90s movie. Will they?
But the person who wrote it didn't want them to get together. She intended for them to not be together.
Well, that's dumb.
She only decided that they were going to get together because the director...
They have to be.
No. The director, Rob Reiner, ended up getting into a relationship during this whole process and was, like, madly in love with, I think her name was Maggie or something. I don't exactly remember. And he was who Harry was based on, so she decided to go that route because that was what was happening in his life.
Because I read something different. I thought she realized at the end of the movie that they just belonged together.
Oh, yes. They just belong together. No.
All right, you know what? You don't have to be that way about it. Really?
This movie just means so much to me. Like, you're killing it.
So, okay, so they are friends for a while, and then they have sex, which ruins everything.
Well, sex always ruins everything.
And then they wind up together at the end of the movie. Spoilers.
Yeah, and his speech to get back with her, first of all, they say it was ad-libbed, which makes it better. But second of all, relationship goals. Like you
I love that you're annoying me to death, and I just love that you're annoying.
That's not what he said.
I love that it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich.
No, you're taking it wrong. No, he was saying, like, all of the things about her that she might think are negative things, like she's expressed to him as insecurities, because she has, are things that he loves about her and he finds endearing. Like, it's...
No, I get where that's coming from. I'm just saying that that's a weird thing. He's just accepting who she is.
That's relationship goals. Like, you want to find somebody that loves everything about you, even the things you think are awful about you.
Well, right. That's obviously the goal. Why does it have to be spoken? Like, I think that isn't that like the whole point of being in a relationship is to find someone that wants to be
Don't
with you.
Don't you want somebody that knows you so well that they can point out all of those little things that you feel insecure about, and they can turn it around and be like, and this is why I loved that about you?
You mean like how you're Billy Crystal from this movie?
Well, if I'm Billy Crystal, then you're Meg Ryan? That's where we're going
I'm not
with this?
Meg Ryan.
No, you're not type A?
I'm not type A.
Are you kidding? Yes, you are.
I'm not type A.
And you don't go to a restaurant and be like, oh, I don't want onion, and I don't want... Or no, you actually eat onion. I don't want this, I don't want that, I want it cooked this way. You don't do that?
We went out to dinner last night. I said, I'd like a burger, no ketchup. How was that?
And you were proud of that. You were like, babe, see, look at... Mic drop. I ordered easily.
I get normal things when I go to the restaurant.
No, you don't. And
yes,
you get real mad if the waitress isn't, like, on top of her shit.
All right, Miss Daily Tumor. Or just, I have
Daily
a brain
tumor?
Yes.
Oh, okay, first of all.
Did we not just have a conversation before this podcast started about how you have a brain tumor?
I am a very forgetful person. So maybe, like, there's a brain tumor, like, you know.
No.
No?
You have anxiety. You have stress. You have sleep deprivation. You have dehydration. There's other factors that can easily explain the brain tumor.
Okay, but like Billy Crystal said in this movie, how do you know?
Just by sheer logic.
Because you are the master of logic. You're right. You know, I'm really glad that I came to you.
No, which is the most confounding part of this.
I am
you
the
are
logical one in the relationship.
Supposed to be.
I am. And for all intents and purposes, if you're looking for a logical answer to something, you usually come to me.
Except when it comes to your medical well-being.
Right, but if it was your medical well-being, you'd probably still come to me.
Or I'd go to a doctor.
You know, sometimes you make me so angry I just want to kill you. So, there's that.
What's wrong with going to the doctor if you have medical concerns?
Because, as Billy Crystal said in the movie, then the doctor will tell you that there's something wrong with you, and then it's, like, worse.
So, or he says, no, you're fine, and you're all good.
Or he says, no, you're fine, and then you're actually not fine, and then you think you're fine because he told you were fine, and then it spirals into you never getting checked, and then you die. You're welcome.
I don't even have an answer for that. No.
I'm sorry. But anyway, so I think we can do an audience ask question because it's something that we're avoiding talking about, and I wanted to make sure I gave her credit for asking this question.
Well, we're not avoiding talking about it. I tried to bring it up. You just didn't.
Because I wanted to give this person credit for asking the question, even though this is obviously something we have to talk about. But anyway, Style Island asked... this might be predictable and boring to say, but can men and women really be friends?
No. Don't sigh.
Give me, okay, I'm going to be the bigger person here. I would like to hear your side. Why do you think that?
Because I don't really have female friends.
Okay. Do I have male friends?
Yes.
Are you okay with that?
For the most part.
Careful now. Careful. But, okay, if you don't believe men and women can be friends, then why would you be okay with me having male friends? And also, caveat, you do have a female friend.
I have a few female friends, but not really the same way that I have male friends.
What does that mean?
Like, we just, with my male friends, we just go out, we have a good time, and we just shoot the shit. We have all the same things in common. We talk about sports. It's
okay. Let me try to narrate what you're saying. So what you're saying is you don't think that they can be friends like Meg Ryan and Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal were in the movie because they were too close? Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know. It's a weird thing because Billy Crystal is very right in that, where I do think that whether it's the man or the woman, there's some kind of tension there on one party's side.
Okay.
A lot of the time.
Okay, so this is my problem with the whole concept. Now, I don't know exactly which place I fall because I have had different experiences and I have different feelings. However, my thought process is he's right, that there is going to be sexual tension at one point or another. There's some quote that goes around about this where at like one point or another, one person's going to fall in love with the person. It might be at the wrong time. It might be for too long, or I forget what the whole quote is. But anyway, so I do believe that at one point or another, tension is going to get involved into a friendship. That's just the way it is. But I don't believe that means that a friendship cannot exist. I feel like if you're close enough friends, you can deal with something like that and without it interfering with anything else in your life, and you still have a close friendship, and I don't see why that's not possible. You're looking at me like I'm crazy, and I want you to know that negativity is not needed.
Well, it's just a weird thing because there's always that unspoken thing. It's almost always in the center of it, and I mean, for a same-sex heterosexual non-bromance kind of deal, friendship, it's just that component's not there, and so it's just easier.
See, but I entirely disagree. I hate women with like every morsel of my being.
They're a lot of work, and a lot of the time they're crazy.
No, it's not even just that. I just don't feel like I relate to them. Like the struggles that they go through, and the drama, and the way they feel about certain things, and just the way they deal with certain things, the way they act. Like, I don't relate.
I completely forgot that voice is connected to a 6-foot-tall lumberjack man. You're not actually a woman that doesn't go through any of the similar things that they go through.
You're being rude. I'm just saying that I don't relate when I talk to other women for the most part. Obviously, there are some women that I do relate to, but generally, they're women that also have all male friends. So, what you're saying is you would prefer a world in which I had 0 friends because I don't relate to women.
I did not say that at all.
So, I'm just...
You do this all of the time. You extrapolate things that I have not said from something I have said. And it drives me up the wall. But you're
friends with some of my male friends. Like, you like them. They're good people.
Which is why I said for the most part. There are a few exceptions for certain things that I'm not particularly fond of, but for the most part, I don't have a problem with it. And that's primarily because I trust you quite a bit.
This is a very confusing thing for me, and I'm just gonna leave it alone because it makes me angry. It's a sore spot for me. But the other question that we've already debated amongst ourselves was from Duke Chastain, and he said, "Was the wagon wheel coffee table really that horrible?"
Yes.
See, now it's not something I would choose, but I could see it in like a Cape Cod house or things like that, where it's like got the nautical vibe.
It's a wagon wheel. It's not a steering wheel from a boat,
but it looked really like nautical in there.
I will give you that it might make sense in Oregon on somebody whose family came to Oregon on the Oregon Trail.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gray Couch. I didn't realize you were an interior designer.
Oh my god, the gray couch looks nicer than the goddamn wagon wheel coffee
The
table.
gray couch doesn't even have any cushion. It's just gray, and you wanted more gray. You picked out a rug that was gray.
Just because it's easy and it matches everything, and I don't have to think about it. It's better than that weird thing that has no matching pieces anywhere in the house.
It's called being unique. It's a centerpiece of the room.
Can we talk about the room that, I don't know how he afforded a Manhattan apartment that
overlooked the Empire State Building?
Those windows? That's got to be like a $3 million a year rent.
But, okay, so we were just recently in New York for going to see where Brooklyn was filmed, the Coney
Island. We went to a bunch of places in New York. We had a good time.
But regardless, we saw brownstones there, and we actually stayed in, not necessarily a brownstone, but I would say pretty similar place to what this would be. We
stayed in a studio apartment on the ground floor.
Right.
Of a building in Brooklyn, not Manhattan.
True. My point, though, is how tiny it was. So, looking at them from the outside, looking at the brownstones that they were in, and then seeing them walk into this, I'm like, that doesn't seem realistic to me.
Well, that had to have been the penthouse of a whole floor of a skyrise.
Maybe, but did you see the size of that rug they were rolling out?
Well, right. It was an enormous apartment. That was just the common area. That wasn't even the bathroom and kitchen.
I know. Like, it was... I was like, that
We're talking millions of dollars.
and that was his, like, bachelor pad after... Oh, no. She did live there, and then she moved out, right? Because he said at one point to Meg Ryan, he kept the apartment. And he was like, I don't understand how hard it is to find an apartment, but they really should mix the obituaries with the apartments.
Yes, if you have $1 billion, it's easy to find living in New York City.
But do you think as a lobbyist or whatever the heck he really was, he was making, like, enough money to afford that? Oh, they make stupid money. Yeah?
Yeah.
That kind of money?
I don't know if they make that kind of money, but they make very stupid money.
I don't know why that girl left him, because I'd be all about that life.
She went to an accountant that was balding. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
An accountant that was balding?
Yeah.
Oh, so you see yourself in that? What?
I'm not an accountant, and I'm also not balding.
You're a boring finance man, and, I mean, yeah, you got good hair, but you're gray.
That's still not bald.
I mean, tomato.
Bald is completely different than having gray hair.
Do they both mean you're old? Because I feel like they do.
All right, miss, I just turned 30.
Ow.
Where you go there, I go there. Oh. It's something that you know is on my...
This just got dark.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is like the end of that, epic rap battles of history, Adam versus Eve.
I guess. I really want to get back to this movie. So they've been friends for forever, and why would they throw sex in there?
Well, I memean, it happens. I mean, they were both single, and it happens, and she was vulnerable, and I really, really related to her whole, well, I'm going to be 40 at some point. When? In 8 years. I totally relate to that. And I think every woman in the world has had a moment in their life where they're like, oh my God, I'm going to be insert age that's sometime in the future here. Because we all have insecurities about that stuff. And we all have ticking biological clocks and all of these things. And I think when you're feeling that vulnerable, all you want is somebody to tell you that it's going to be okay. And you want to feel like your
life is together.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's easy with him. It was just something that she could just fall into because they already knew everything about each other. It felt natural.
I'm going to be 40 in 8 years. No, I don't get that.
You don't worry about getting old?
No, it'll happen when it happens.
You're Meg Ryan. You're Meg Ryan for every other part of the movie except for this.
It's why worry about something that's going to be inevitable?
Okay, do you remember the part outside of their friend's apartment where they're standing outside and he says to her, you're always happy. Nothing bothers you. Like, I don't, like, and he did not understand it. He kept, like, talking about his own internal
I am happy, by and large.
That's you. 100% you.
Yes, I am generally happy.
Yeah, but, like, nothing bothers you. Like, the world could come crashing down on you and you'd be like, da-di-da-di-da.
Well, how bad of a crashing down are we talking about? Are we talking about the end of civilization?
I mean, like, our house could burn down tomorrow, and as long as I'm alive and Dubs is alive, you'd be like, do-do-do-do-do-do. It's okay. It's just stuff. We'll get it all back. It's all right.
Yeah, that's what insurance is for.
See, no, you gotta be mad and sad and like, oh my God, the world is ending.
Why?
Because I'm dark and twisty inside, as they would say in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh God, no. I mean, the only thing that I care about are the sentimental things that I can't replace with insurance. Like, that would bother me. Stuff is stuff.
No, you're too happy for your own good. Something bad needs to happen to you so you can become jaded just like me.
That's horrible. Why would you wish that on anyone?
Because misery loves company. Anyways, so I'm going to do one more audience ask question since we don't have... Oh, wait. You know what? I lied. I was actually going to tell you. So did you recognize who the director was in this movie?
Rob Reiner?
Do you know who he is? Did you recognize him?
I've heard the name before, yeah.
Did you look at a picture of him?
It's that guy, isn't it?
It's that guy. Absolutely, it's him.
Yes.
It's him. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's the...
it's him.
Isn't it that guy that's the stereotypical, like, tough guy? Or, like, not tough guy, but, like, man's guy?
This is really funny to watch. But no, it's... we've been watching New Girl lately. It's Jess's father.
Really?
It is.
Oh.
I was, like... Because I saw a picture of him, and I'm like, oh my God, I totally know who that guy is. And then it all clicked. And I just thought it was pretty interesting. Now, the question I do have is, Nora Ephron, she's a writer, right? So
I think so.
I couldn't figure out if this was a book or not, because all I've ever seen is it was a screenplay. So I'm confused.
Well, I think it was a screenplay that she wrote.
Okay, but she's a book writer, isn't she?
Sure. I have no idea.
Well, that's super helpful.
Well, I don't have an answer for you. I don't think I've read anything she's ever written.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about?
What?
The epic scene that everybody talks about.
Oh, the orgasm scene?
Yeah.
We do have to talk about that.
We do. Now, first of all, we should have gone to Cat's Deli when we were in New York, but we didn't.
We went to the Arch, the George Washington Arch, though.
We did. So we did go to the benches where they were walking around, where it was like,
Park.
yeah. So we did that. But Cat's Deli, he says to her, talking about great sex, and she says,
"How do you know?"
Right, she says, "How do you know?" And he says, "Oh, I can tell. I can tell." And she's like, "Really?" And then she decides to fake an orgasm. Pretty epically. Good for her. Like, she went for it.
I mean, that's committed to your craft and dedicating to acting. But I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing that in front of a whole room full of people.
But how do you feel now knowing that about women?
Well, I've always known that they can fake... You can fake any kind of emotion you want.
So you knew that most women fake most orgasms?
Most? Or some? Is
mean,
it more than 50%?
More than 50% of what? Overall? Or the ones with a specific person?
This is something I don't know if I want to go down this rabbit hole.
I'm just curious what your level of knowledge was before you watched this.
I had heard that it can happen, and it can happen regularly. I just...
Okay, so I'll put it into perspective.
It's like going to war. I'm aware that it can happen. I just hope it never has to happen to me.
Oh, honey, it's happened to you.
Great.
I promise you.
Great.
I'm not saying with me. I'm just saying every woman has done it. So...
No, this is the same conversation from the movie. If every woman has done it,
then the odds are it's happened to you.
Right. I'm aware of that.
So, how do you feel about that?
I would just really rather not know about it.
Okay.
I would like to not know about any instances where I was deficient in that category. Yeah, so let's... Thanks for that. Now... Thoroughly emasculated.
I just wanted to know where your level of knowledge was for that kind of thing, because I found that like an interesting topic, because I feel like that's not really talked about that much, and given it's a 90s movie, it was surprising that they brought it up.
Yeah, it's also surprising that it made that into the film. Like I'm surprised.
Pretty sure, if I read this correctly, Meg Ryan actually made the suggestion to do that, to actually act it out, and then I love her for that. Good for you. Okay, there was one last thing though I really wanted to get to, and we're running out of time. But so, did you know who they originally wanted to play Meg Ryan in this, or play Sally in this movie?
I know she was like the 6th choice.
Right, but you know who their... Well, I don't know if it was their first choice, but the most well-known choice was?
No.
Molly Ringwald.
So I read that she was not the first choice. She was like the 3rd or 4th choice.
As I said, I don't know if it's the first choice, but it's the most well-known choice. So, how do you think she would have done in this role?
I mean, Molly Ringwald is very talented.
Right.
But she's more well-known for her teenage years acting in the... when she's younger, not in her 30s. And
why do I only picture her humping a tree? That's what I picture.
Well, she's known for things like Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club,
right?
Where she's high school or teenager versus.
But she humped a tree when she was an adult. Pretty sure.
She was also in Not Another Teen Movie as the stewardess at the end of the movie.
I just feel like she's not the girl next door type, really. I don't picture her as that.
She is, but at the same time, I don't think she would have been the right fit for this movie.
No, I feel like Meg Ryan was, way better.
It was definitely a better choice.
Now, do you think Billy Crystal was the right choice?
He does have the weird... They do have this weird, awkward chemistry. It does work.
They do. I mean, if I hadn't seen the movie, I would have thought Meg Ryan would be with Tom Hanks because it's just, I mean...
He was one of the ones considered for this movie, actually.
That's just movie magic right there. But seeing it now, I actually think Billy Crystal was better would be better than Tom Hanks in this.
Well, so she's just so type A. I can't stand her, though. Like, that...
Oh, okay, we're changing topics.
We're changing topics.
She's so type A that what? Like what?
Everything about her. Like, just... I would smother her with a pillow. I couldn't do it.
That's terrible.
No, I can't. I couldn't handle it.
She has quirks.
No.
I honestly think that she got way better as the movie went along.
Well, yeah. She started at rock bottom.
Well, that's what most women do. They put out all of these blocks and they make it seem like they're this awful person so that you have to break through those barriers.
No, I don't think I could do it. I really don't.
Well, you're not Mr. Sunshine anyway, so...
You said I was Mr. Sunshine.
No, I have to deal with a lot of your crap, too.
Oh. Well, so we're going there, then.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. I don't eat any vegetables ever. The first time I cooked you a vegetable, you looked on the stove and said, I am not eating that.
All right. Thanks for that. That's just adding more things to the podcast that no one actually really needed to know. But now we're on the podcast forever.
You're welcome.
I do have a couple of trivia things.
Oh, I love trivia.
Did you know that the scene in Giant Stadium wasn't Giant Stadium?
What? Why not? They filmed in New York.
But I guess the fans of New York, a team that I hate categorically, I hate the New York Giants with every fiber of my being.
I love how every podcast episode we alienate another viewer. Great.
I don't care. I'm from New England. I'm a Patriots fan. I hate the Giants. I just do.
Okay. So moving on, so we don't alienate.
So the fans weren't to the director's expectations for how they should be acting in terms of being into the game and excited.
The fans that they did not pay to be in the movie?
Well, so those scenes, the crowd scenes, were not filmed there. They were filmed at what is now the Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo.
Because they were more engaged fans?
Well, they had the same color scheme as the Giants. It's red, blue, and white, and a rowdier crowd.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, but interesting nonetheless.
Well, Buffalo Bills fans are known for being rowdier fans than...
Well, yeah, I mean, rowdy is a really nice word to put it, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
They do have that weird table smashing tradition at the Bill Stadium. I don't understand it, but...
I don't know what that is, but okay, I'll take your word for it.
I'll show you on YouTube. It's kind of weird.
Great.
Other things... I don't know where I'm going with this, honestly.
You said you had trivia, darling. Trivia.
Yes. Did you know that the I'll Have What She's Having woman was the director's mother?
I did hear that. I was trying to find out, was that the first time that that's been said in a movie? Because that's said all the time now.
I'll have what she's having?
Yeah.
Well, that was where this is where that line comes from.
That's what I kind of figured, but I wasn't sure.
Which was an ad-libbed line from Billy Crystal, as it happens.
Well, it's an amazing line.
Well, he has apparently a lot of ad-libbed lines in this movie. There were a couple inconsistencies as well, which are kind of weird trivia things. So,
okay, go for it.
Well, I'm just adding these in at the end. So, you know how she's talking to her girlfriends about Billy Crystal and how she doesn't belong with that girl that he was dating when they were doing charades or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And he doesn't even like sweets. He admits to loving Malamars as he's running, right before he runs to her at the end of New Year's.
I didn't catch that.
I didn't either. I saw it when I Googled it. So, you love this movie. So, I'm going to let you wrap it up. What was your rating on this?
Oh, 10.
10 out of 10?
Oh, yeah. This is but there's only one other chick flick that's tied for the top, and this is one of them, so.
So, I guess, I can probably guess the other movie.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So I hope we've met.
So, I would say I love this movie. I would say 8.75.
Why not at least 9? What's wrong with you? Are you sick? Do you
Stop
not
judging
love?
me. Can you stop that? Like, no.
You don't love love. I understand.
It's not. That's not it at all.
Anyway.
It was a good movie. It was a great movie. I don't know. It was fine. It was great. I don't give 10s.
Okay, so that's the goal. Get Tyler to give a 10. Got it. Okay, so what are we doing next week? It's your pick.
Next week, interesting movie. One that I particularly like. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
One I have not seen before.
No, we seem to be alternating back and forth with movies the other one has seen recently.
Well, we alternate back and forth with picking movies, so that could be the culprit.
Well, no, but sometimes we have movies that neither of us have seen, and it's a complete grab bag.
Yes, usually I try to pick movies I haven't seen before, but learning that you've never seen When Harry Met Sally, I needed to make an alteration.
Yes.
So.
Well, you have it all mapped out. You call me Type A. You have our next 30 million podcast. The movie's planned out already.
That's called being prepared.
No, it's being called Type A like a son of a bitch.
Anyways, I'm looking forward to next week. I did want to give a thank you to Jake at Athos Music for our intro and outro music, and we will see you next week for The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.